Pickup Lines is presented by Gamez Law Firm. Personal injury guidance for more than 50 years. Gamez Law fights. By Integrity Roofing and Siding. Family owned and operated for more than 40 years, serving the San Antonio area for roofing, siding, and renovation needs. And by the Sabinal Group. For nearly 20 years, serving the San Antonio region through professional minority general contracting services. Pickup Lines is broadcast from inside the all-electric Lexus RZ450e, courtesy of North Park Lexus at Dominion and North Park Lexus of San Antonio.
Let's do this.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. Do not adjust your sets. This is Pickup Lines, the talk show in a car. And what's better than having one guest? How about two guests? And fittingly, we're talking about an event that's associated with vehicles and cars and automobiles, so it's fitting that we're doing this show in the car. Let me begin with the introductions here. Ladies first. This is Jennifer Paine, the Director of Quality Assurance and Development at Beat AIDS, a local nonprofit here, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. And the gentleman in the back, wearing the company jacket and everything, is Andrew Brooks, Chief Marketing Officer for Seymour's Garage. And you're the CEO at CarFest? What is your title?
CarFest Director, Chief Marketing Officer there.
CMO.
We run it. Magician. Not big into titles. We do what we got to do.
He's the guy that essentially makes it happen. We'll get into CarFest here in a little while. It's been around for a decade. It's amazing. I've had a chance to learn about it. And Jennifer is here to kind of talk on, like, literally the impact it can have and has had. And let me just start out of the gate. The first thing I learned, or one of the things I learned about Beat AIDS,
yes,
as the name would suggest, it deals in things with AIDS and HIV and those kinds of things. But I did not know Beat AIDS, B-E-A-T, is an acronym.
It is, yes. BEAT stands for the Black Effort Against the Threat of AIDS. We were founded in 1987 as a street outreach organization, all by volunteers, by a nurse named Mel Johnson,
yes,
who identified a significant need to reach people who were not receiving care during the HIV epidemic. And we have grown from a street outreach volunteer organization to a multi-site large organization that provides holistic care for people, whether they have acquired HIV, whether they're at risk, whether they are affected by, meaning they have family members. We see prevention as treatment, so we provide services for everyone.
If you go back, I mean, for those of us who are old enough to remember the 80s and just the onset of AIDS and that time and everything like that, I didn't realize the organization had been around that long.
And it was a scary time, and it still is. People hear AIDS or HIV and they get nervous, and that's okay. You should be nervous about the illness. But we've been around since the beginning of the HIV epidemic, and we are now the longest lasting and largest organization here in Bexar County addressing this epidemic.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah. And so let me bring Andrew in, because you guys at some point obviously connected. And at the heart of CarFest, essentially, it's a showcase of cars in April, and we'll talk about the specifics in just a little bit. Something you'll want to mark on your calendar and be there at the Freeman Expo Hall. But there's the charitable component. And so how did you get in connection with Jennifer and Beat AIDS? And let's brag on what you guys have been able to do together so far.
So it's pretty awesome. Jennifer and I were connected through a common friend, Louis Guzman, that had connected us. And we had an idea. So I've volunteered with CarFest for the past 8 years.
Yes.
And so before coming on board full-time with Seymour's and CarFest, had this idea because we reach out and help families and individuals.
Right.
But we also want to amplify our mission. And so how can we do that is there's a lot of nonprofits in this community that have vehicles, and they use these vehicles for outreach. And so our idea was, hey, let's bring some of these nonprofits in the mix that may have a vehicle that's in despair. And Louis connected Jennifer and I. We learned about Clifford, affectionately their van.
Yes.
And
which I'm assuming is a big red van.
It is.
Okay, that's what I'm just guessing based on the fictional character. But yes, go ahead.
Clifford is a big red van. And the idea was that if we can help some of these nonprofits with their vehicles, that helps their outreach. So we don't want to leave behind helping a family, but we also want to partner with these nonprofits because our mission is unity in the community. And so if we can help these nonprofits continue to help their people, that just amplifies our mission.
But it's how big is that? Because we all think of nonprofits in San Antonio, and we all know of 1 or 2 or 10 that we really like or support. But how often do you think about, like, the day-to-day transportation needs and that if a car breaks down, a van, in your case, the van breaks down, you're in a lot of trouble.
We are, and something a lot of people don't know unless you work in nonprofit world is that nonprofit funding dollars don't often go to those kinds of repairs. So unless we have a fundraiser or a generous donor or something like CarFest,
right,
we don't have the ability or the funds to repair that vehicle. When Andrew reached out to me, he said, is there a vehicle that you have available? And literally every day I was parking next to our broken down red van, which is named Clifford.
Yes.
And I responded, I'm like, we do. It has not run in about 2 years, and it needs a lot of work. But they took it on, and it's running. We're able now to use that vehicle to take our clients to and from medical appointments, doctor's appointments, Thanksgiving events. We use it for testing and outreach.
Right.
We've made a huge impact since we've had that vehicle back, and it's an honor because we're able to take that vehicle and multiply who we're serving and that outreach.
And one less thing to have to worry about, because there's no such thing as a cheap, inexpensive, or free car repair, right?
Exactly.
I mean, there could be a donated one, but in terms of from your perspective, so CarFest really, I think Andrew, you alluded to this. In the last decade, you've created some amazing moments where you've gifted or you surprised individuals or families with automobiles, or you fixed automobiles and those kinds of things. But what was it? When did it click that you could serve a purpose and do the same thing for nonprofits?
It really clicked about 6 months ago as we were talking about the mission, and we were going through our numbers. So in 9 years, we've done about $3 million worth of giving back to the community.
That's huge.
And
amazing.
Thank you. And what we want to do is we want to double that in the next 2 years. And so when we're looking at impact, the idea came from, well, let's find out these nonprofits. I've learned a lot in the past 6 months. I've learned about the transportation needs and funding restrictions on the nonprofits.
Right.
And so that's where the idea came from. And we took this idea to our independent garages. So CarFest is made up of our actual nonprofits community of automotive professionals.
Right.
CarFest is our big event, April 4th through the 6th this year at
Right.
Freeman Expo Hall. And we asked the garages, we said, hey, we have this idea. Would y'all, we help the families and we're going to keep that, but can we put in a handful of these nonprofit vehicles? And all of our garages were ecstatic. They said, yes, we get it. That helps the outreach. It helps our mission. Right. And these garages that step in and jump in, Clifford was about a $10,000 repair.
Yeah. I was going to ask, I'm trying to visualize, you said I call him a he, but the van was essentially sitting there.
It was sitting there dead for almost 2 years, had not run. And as I said before, that was our main transport van for one of our shelters.
Right.
And so we went and did a diagnostic, and it was kind of eye-opening to see all the work that needed to be done, but from your battery to tires to the inside to basically a whole workup of Clifford, and now he's running.
When you heard that Andrew or CarFest was wanting to do this for you, for Clifford, did you believe him? Did you think this was you were being punked, or what was happening in your head?
I would have thought we were being punked, except our connection, Louis, is amazing.
I know Louis, yes.
And so otherwise I would have been like, what's the catch?
Yes.
What is our match portion, or what else do we have to do? And it was such an easy process, which is by design. Yeah. At CarFest, we want everyone who is a recipient of this type of work to have an easy, seamless process, so it's less stress on them. They can get back on the road, whether they're a nonprofit or our individual recipients as well.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. All right, so we're coming on the second half of, we're coming up to the midpoint of February, obviously. So we're, less than 2 months away, Andrew, from
51 days.
But who's counting? Who's counting? CarFest 2025, again, celebrating your 10th anniversary here in San Antonio, which is a huge accomplishment. So I'm guessing you're going to try to go bigger and better than the previous 9 years.
Oh, you bet. We've had about 50,000 is our typical average attendance. We're shooting for 100,000 people this year. There's a couple of big events going on the same time we are, but those events don't have the impact we do. And we have something for everybody. We have the car repairs, and so thanks to Jennifer. Jennifer actually came on our board this year and is our nonprofit manager. So she helped us mobilize our mission, and the submissions we received this year for the car repairs were out of this world. We typically get 20 to 30. This year we had over 60 applicants, which is hard. That actually makes it very hard. Yeah. And that just goes to show the need. So we're going to be repairing these cars there, but we also have games for all the kids. We have food trucks. We have a kids fun zone. We have a new sponsor. We have an MMA fight on Friday night.
Whoa.
So we're going to have the Beluga Air Brawls. Come on.
Yes.
We have a
freaking-
car show that's you're going to be able to win a grand prize, $1,000 trophies, and then for the community, you can come out. It's free. Have to be present to win. So come on out, and you're going to have a chance to win 10 free cars, 5 each day. You can just enter to win. These garages have also fixed up a car, and we cover all tax, title, and license. So just come out, enter,
amazing.
and you can win a free car.
It's amazing. It's like a game show. You
It
can
is.
win a free car.
Free car.
But you have to be present to win.
Have to be present to
You
win.
have to be there in order to do it. CarFestSA.org is the website. I would encourage everybody to go to CarFestSA.org. It's a very comprehensive website. It has all the dates and everything. If you'd like to learn more about the nonprofit, BeatAIDS.org is the website. Jennifer Paine is here. Andrew Brooks is here. And there's also the component, because obviously you need vehicles in some cases to help make this happen sometimes. Somebody might be watching this and they're sitting on a vehicle that they don't really use, or they want to donate, or are feeling extra generous today, and you would be happy to take the vehicle off their hands.
All right, I'm glad you said. We would be happy to take that vehicle off your hands. So we take vehicles and repurpose them. They go through what we call a recon, which is a reconditioning report. And so what we will do is judge that vehicle and say, hey, is this vehicle good for our lane to be sold? And then we can use that cash to help fund our need, the rental expenses, those type things that we put on, or repairs.
Right.
So it'll fund repairs. Or is that vehicle in good enough shape that we can repair it and then donate it to a family or nonprofit in need, which is super cool. And so sometimes, depending on too, we'll have those donations come in where they say, hey, I have this vehicle, it's pretty good, I know it's running, I would really love it to go to a family or someone in need. And we really try to make those wishes come true and happen.
Oh my God. I can only imagine those moments when you announce those winners and the realization kicks in that they're getting this car, or you make a connection with a nonprofit and that realization that they're going to get their vehicle fixed. I hope you're capturing these on camera.
So we are this year. There's a new process too, and what we're doing is February 25th we're having our first ever pairing party.
Okay.
So the
Soon.
nonprofits
All right.
and the garages are going to meet each other before the event for the first time, and so we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna break the ice because they will also go back to those garages and have a car repair plan. They'll say, hey, this is everything we found. This is what we're gonna do, and it builds that rapport. And so the garage gets to see the family or nonprofit they're helping, and the nonprofit gets to see the work that's going to go into that vehicle. Then afterwards, we're going to finish the repairs April 4th through the 6th.
Okay.
But they're going to take that vehicle back to the garage, and then quickly, because we know they're going to want their vehicle back,
Right.
we're going to do some key ceremonies where we can capture the
Oh,
photos
nice.
and say, hey, we've test driven it, everything's looking good, here's your vehicle back, it was such a pleasure to serve you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic stuff. It just gives me all the feels here. Again, it's coming up April 4th through the 6th, right? So
Yes,
it's April's a crazy busy month. Fiesta's late this year.
We do.
So there's no conflict with Fiesta. You guys, I'm just wondering for
No.
your planning purposes.
Oh, I should have brought our medal, Jennifer.
Oh,
And
we
so
do have Fiesta medals.
We do have Fiesta
Yes.
medals.
Now
They're
you're speaking
super
my
cool.
love language. All right, well, you'll have to
Those
get
are
me
on
one.
sale on the site. I'll get you one.
Get me one, and I can post and everything. Let me ask you from the nonprofit, because in my work with pickup lines, I have found out there are so many more nonprofits than I ever conservatively thought there were in San Antonio.
Yes.
But you mentioned Clifford had been sitting there, your van had been sitting there for a long time, unable to use it. How many other Cliffords are out there in San Antonio, especially?
There are hundreds of Cliffords. There are thousands of nonprofits in Bexar County.
Yes.
But what we know, what a beautiful thing about San Antonio is there is a large need, but there's also a lot of people who are willing to help and do things like CarFest is
Right.
doing. So there are lots of nonprofits, and we'd love to have people donate and come out to the event so we can start spreading that wealth out and affecting even more. Because Beat AIDS is not unique in this scenario. There are lots of nonprofits that have the need that we had, and as Andrew had mentioned, we received well over 60 applications, and it was very hard. It was hard to narrow it down. We did select other nonprofits, like Corazon Ministries is one that has a handicap accessible van, so they can locate individuals who are unhoused and get them into care. But there's a huge need out there in our area.
All right, so the need for vehicles, need for obviously some dollars and support and everything, but you're always looking for volunteers. I mean, CarFest, it's a monstrosity that plays out over several days, and the Freeman Expo Hall, like where they have the rodeo right now. I mean, You need a lot of help.
We do need a lot of help. We were looking at it the other day and mapping it out. It's about 13 acres we take over through there, because with the parking lot, we have a Friday night cruise in. So Friday night, these hot rods come in, there's music, with a new MMA fight, driving demos. We have a new driver program. So Saturday and Sunday, if you're 15 to 17, you need to sign up for this new driver program. We partner with SAPD. Those teens are entered to win a free car.
Yeah.
We have automotive discovery, so we partner with technical schools all across Texas. They bring in students. We do classes for them through O'Reilly's, a major sponsor.
Yeah.
And then those students, we pair up, and they're able to go and interview with O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto Part, Independent Garages, other sponsors like Red McCombs, BG Products,
Right.
Jasper Engine and Transmissions. So we're lifting up the automotive community while we're also lifting up the community in which we live and work.
If
What
I
can you
can
say?
just add,
Go right ahead. No, Jennifer, go
because
ahead.
I could sing CarFest praises all day. But as fun as it is, there's so much going on, and food trucks and events and music and all this stuff. It's super fun, but it's also saving lives, literally saving lives. Clifford gets folks to and from their medical care who have life-threatening illnesses.
Right.
And we're just one of the many recipients, right? So not only are we changing lives, getting people to school, making sure they can take care of their grandchildren, making sure that they can get to and from work.
Yeah.
We're literally saving lives, and that's the beauty of CarFest. As fun as it is, you can show up and win a car. You're also contributing to life-changing events here in San Antonio.
Can't win a car at Fiesta, as far as I know. But I'm just not that I'm not going to be at Fiesta this year. I'm just saying this just goes to show you like what the scale of what's happening here and how exciting it is and everything, and the impact.
Yeah.
You know, my experience, obviously doing a show in a car and stuff, and just getting to know the automotive industry, the different dealerships, the O'Reilly parts of the auto part places of the world. Everybody has such a giving heart, and I mean, it really has taken a village to make this happen, right?
You're exactly right, Ernie. And we couldn't do it without those anchor sponsors. You mentioned O'Reilly's, BG Products, Jasper Engine Transmissions, our friends at Red McCombs. There's several other dealers that are contacting us as well. This year we have new ones. Beluga Air sponsoring the MMA fight.
Right,
so
right.
Beluga Air brought DJC Law Firm. They're actually sponsoring.
Oh, very nice.
The new student driver. Responsive Technologies has come in. They're sponsoring all of our technology needs at the Freeman, providing our laptops, providing our iPads to scan. We're going to have a new way to sign up. So out of the 40, 50,000 that have come before, be ready in a couple of weeks. We're going to announce our new sign-up process to win the free cars. And then El Pollo Loco, CPS Energy, the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo.
Goodness.
Oh, we're going to have, so the rodeo is going to go past the rodeo a little bit. We're actually going to have the Horsepower Corral. And so we're going to partner with them, Sutzgeta tequila, their Stockholm wine, and we're going to have a little equine discovery. They want to bring some horses out for a couple hours.
There's literally something for everybody.
There's something for everybody. There's something for everybody.
You mentioned my favorite four-letter word, free, earlier.
Yes.
There's a lot of free stuff to be had out there as well. So fantastic stuff. Again, carfestsa.org for more on CarFest, and beataids.org. What would you like people to know about Beat AIDS, about the nonprofit, the work that in some cases is happening literally on the other side of this parking lot right now?
Yes.
What would you like people to know about
The
that?
biggest thing I want people to know is all of our services are available to you for free. Confidential. You can go to our website, you can call us, we can come out to you if you have questions, if you want testing, if you need to get linked to care, if you're just someone affected by or you want to know more. Completely free and confidential. You can come to us at any of our sites, including this one right here on North Main. We'd be happy to help you.
Very good. And again, beataids.org. And as I said earlier, I learned, I always thought, beat AIDS. Of course we want to beat AIDS, but it's an acronym.
Yep.
And this, Black Efforts Against the Threat of AIDS. And it's been around since 87.
87.
Right? 1987.
Yeah.
Been around for a long time. So I suspect after some people see this, you're going to get more nonprofits or more families that are interested in collaborating. They're going to want to get in on this, if you will.
I hope so.
After CarFest is over in April, will there be like a nomination process, or will that open up again?
So right after we finish CarFest, we're going to regather, and then we're going to reevaluate. We always do. Hey, what was good? What was bad? What can we change? We're going to go through that process again. We're going to reevaluate our nomination process this year because that was open. mid-December through first part of January.
Right.
And then we took a couple of weeks to evaluate and do checkups and those type things. So we're going to reevaluate all the processes for CarFest. And we're excited and hope Jennifer comes back for another year.
I'll be here as long as you let me.
Oh my gosh.
Because she has been amazing for us and for me, just to learn the nonprofit I guess processes and ways they work and how grants work and funding. I've learned so much and how they interact with the city and the county and those type things. Because we're a nonprofit. We're pretty young still. This is going to be our 10th year.
Right.
And we're super excited to celebrate 10 years. And there's so much more giving we want to do. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you, the founders of CarFest 9 years ago had an idea on how to grow this.
Right.
And so what we're putting together is a team, and Jennifer is a part of this team, of how we can build a playbook to take CarFest from San Antonio to an Atlanta.
Replicate it in other
Replicate
markets.
it, yes.
Yeah.
Why we want to take what we've learned and unity in the community and spread it across the country.
I would be surprised if you haven't already had phone calls from other markets that will see this. Or
We actually have had a couple.
okay, I was just going to say, because this is one of those things like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you could have come up with this 30 years ago and still be impacting a lot of people. And I could see where this is something that could be easily replicated in other markets and stuff. And
It can, and hopefully. And we just got to give a big shout out. I really hope people go to that website, carfestsa.org.
yes.
And scroll across the bottom and look at our garages. There's so many I want to give a shout out to. Hollywood Park, Berlin's, Mechanic Masters, Ravens, Alamo City Automotive,
Right.
Cambridge, Sirianna, Almost Park, Red McCombs, Premier One, Cartex Ewing, Belden's, Automotive Fluid Exchange, Lone Star Auto. These are all volunteering their time, talents, and treasure,
Yeah.
along with those sponsors, to repair these vehicles. And these are independent garages in our community that are saying, we believe in this mission, we're going to step up and help.
A lot of family names, small businesses,
sir.
and that the fact that they're doing this just speaks to the generosity and everything.
And they have been so kind and generous with our nonprofits and our individual recipients. It's very warming. It warms my heart as a nonprofit person
Yeah.
to see how open and welcome they are to set aside their other work and work for our recipients.
I wonder, I mean, you ever get emotional over this? Because this is
Yes.
some heavy
Oh.
stuff. I would think sometimes the stories that you must hear,
Yeah.
and then those moments that I alluded to earlier when you're presenting the key or something. I mean, I think I would be a wreck when that happens.
Oh, we lost it a couple times when we were going through the evaluation process.
Yes.
As Jennifer collected these impact statements, we created a rubric, which is super hard because every impact statement is just that. It's
Yeah.
an impact.
Right.
And we want to grow, but right now we're limited. And so
Right.
to take those 60 plus and narrow it down to 20 was super hard. And there were so many statements in there that'll just, I mean, they'll rip your heartstrings out, Ernie. They'll just, it was so tough. We looked at each other, we took a break a couple times. It was so impactful.
I mean, you think about how we take our cars or our vehicles for granted sometimes, but in a lot of cases, your life is your car, or your livelihood is your vehicle,
Exactly.
whatever it may look like, or and in your case,
Ours and
Clifford.
all of the people that we serve too.
yeah. How any sense of how many people you serve on a regular basis, or
Oh, well into the thousands.
Yeah.
And because that van is used not only to transport our clients, but to locate individuals, it makes test them and educate them as well.
Right.
So since we've had Clifford back and on the road, for example, we've doubled our testing numbers on its own, and we've identified new people who have acquired HIV, who would not have otherwise known their status. So
and that's how you're
very,
literally
very
saving
serious.
lives, right?
Literally,
there.
saving
Literally,
lives.
not figuratively.
Yes. And so you asked about getting emotional. You can't not get touched
Right.
by that when you see the life-saving element to just simply
Yeah.
having a vehicle on the road.
And you think about this is just the Beat AIDS story, but if you replicate this in other nonprofits, and then you exponentially, the impact is just astronomical. So.
Astronomical.
Okay, so how many more days?
We are 51 days away.
51 days away. CarFestSA.org. Let's get the dates again. April 4th through the 6th at the Freeman Expo halls, and so much of it, if not almost all of it, is free. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you need a dollar here or there for different things, but most of it is free. Certainly family friendly. The martial art. What did you say? The MMA.
Yep, we have the Beluga
fights.
Air Brawls Friday night.
Yeah.
Those are free. Food trucks you'll need some cash for,
Little
but
bit.
entry into the event is free. If you want to enter to win a vehicle, that's free. All all the kids' activities, the bounce houses, there's Nerf guns, there's laser tag. There's a ton of stuff for kids this year, thanks to Gamez to You. Those are all free.
Yeah,
and so that is being covered by our amazing sponsors.
That's amazing.
And we're super excited.
I don't know if this is the case in other metropolitan cities, but I don't know. San Antonio, just people here love cars. They just seem to have an affection for automobiles. You know, the car shows and car clubs and car, festivals like this.
They do. The affinity for cars. We've been going. We have a guerrilla grassroots marketing campaign.
Right.
And we've been hitting all the car shows, the car clubs. They're super supportive.
Yes.
Friday Night Lights is one of the most fun events because we say, hey, respect us, respect the building, respect the parking lot, and we've never had an issue. They come in, we set up, there's music, there's fun. They're a community all on their own. And so when we mentioned the car show piece inside of CarFest, hey, you want to do a car show, small entry fee, but you win a grand prize.
Right.
That money goes back to help. They were like, game on. Send us the information.
It's all good.
It's all good.
It's a win-win for everybody. So one more time, April 4th through the 6th at the Freeman Expo Hall, carfestsa.org if you want more information on that, the nonprofit beataids.org. So next time we'll get Clifford in the back or behind us or something, and we'll get the Fiesta medals as well. And it is the season for Fiesta medals.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, but I will say, full disclosure, I've had a chance to get to know the CarFest team a little bit in recent months, and it's as impressive as you think it is, and probably even more. And hopefully now you have a better appreciation for the impact they're having on one nonprofit and many, many more beyond that. But so great to visit with both of you. Thank you for what you do as well, and looking forward to the first weekend of April.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you, Ernie, and congrats.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to be working for KSAT here in just a little while. I know KSAT's had a relationship with CarFest in the past as well, and so that's, like I said, it's all good stuff. All good stuff.
Love it.
CarFestSA.org. All right, another episode of Pickup Lines in the books. Thanks as always for your support, for watching, for everything. For Jennifer and Andrew, I'm Ernie Zuniga. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you.